understand it. They think it's about money. They think it's about wearing luxury brands, driving flashy cars, or showing off in front of others. But the deeper meaning, especially when you look at it through the ruthless clarity of Niccolò Machiavelli, is about value. It's about power, it's about perception, and most importantly, it's about self-respect. Being cheap is not about your bank account. It's about your standards. It's about how easily people can access you, use you, ignore you, disrespect you, and still keep you around. Cheap people are always available. They say yes to everything. They chase attention. They beg for validation. They tolerate nonsense because they fear losing connection. They discount themselves just to stay in the room. Expensive people are different. They understand something powerful. Value increases with rarity. When something is available everywhere, all the time, without conditions, it loses importance. But when something is selective, disciplined, and controlled, it becomes desirable. If you reply instantly to every message, if you forgive every disrespect, if you show up for people who never show up for you, you are teaching the world how to treat you. And the world will treat you according to the price tag you put on yourself. Machiavelli understood human psychology. People don't respect what they can easily manipulate. They don't value what requires no effort. If you want influence, you must master perception. And perception starts with boundaries. Stop over-explaining yourself. Stop defending every decision. Stop trying to make everyone comfortable. The more you try to be liked, the cheaper you become. Approval is the lowest currency. Respect is the highest. An expensive mindset means you don't argue to prove your worth. You don't beg to be chosen. You don't lower your standards to avoid being alone. You understand that loneliness with dignity is stronger than companionship with disrespect. Cheap energy looks like this: constantly texting first, double messaging, apologizing for things you didn't do, laughing at jokes that insult you, staying silent when someone crosses a line. Expensive energy is calm. It is silent confidence. It is the ability to walk away without drama. Power often belongs to the one who can detach. The one who needs less controls more. When you desperately need attention, love, approval, money, or recognition, you lose leverage. When you are willing to walk away, you gain it. Being expensive means you protect your time like it's gold. You don't entertain conversations that drain you. You don't invest emotions into people who give you crumbs. You don't explain your vision to those committed to misunderstanding you. You must understand that people test you, not consciously all the time, but instinctively. They test your boundaries. They test how much you will tolerate. The first time you allow disrespect, you set a precedent. And cheap people always accept the first bad deal. Expensive people negotiate differently. They don't react emotionally. They observe. They calculate. They respond with composure. Silence becomes their weapon. Distance becomes their statement. In business, the cheapest product often attracts the most problematic customers. The highest priced product attracts serious buyers. The same applies to you. If you make yourself accessible to everyone, you attract people who treat you casually. If you raise your standards, you attract people who understand value. This does not mean arrogance. Arrogance is loud insecurity. Being expensive is quiet certainty. It is knowing your strengths without announcing them. It is improving yourself without seeking applause. Work on your skills. Improve your body. Strengthen your mind. Build financial discipline. Develop emotional control. The more you invest in yourself, the higher your value becomes. And when your value increases, your tolerance for nonsense decreases automatically. Cheap people chase. Expensive people attract. Cheap people gossip. Expensive people strategize. Cheap people react. Expensive people respond. Cheap people complain. Expensive people build. If someone disrespects you and you stay because you are afraid of losing them, you are discounting yourself. If someone ignores you and you chase harder, you are lowering your price. If someone only remembers you when they need something and you always show up, you are volunteering to be used. Scarcity creates demand. Your attention should not be unlimited. Your presence should not be ordinary. Your time should not be cheap. Machiavelli believed that it is better to be respected than loved if you cannot be both. Respect comes from strength, from boundaries, from unpredictability. When people know you will always tolerate everything, they stop fearing consequences. And when there are no consequences, there is no respect. Stop explaining your silence. Stop announcing your moves. Let people wonder. Mystery increases perceived value. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to manipulate. Being expensive also means emotional discipline. Not every insult deserves a reaction. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Sometimes the most powerful response is none at all. Raise your standards in relationships. Raise them in friendships. Raise them in business. Raise them with yourself. Do not accept half effort. Do not accept inconsistency. Do not accept disrespect disguised as humor. When you start upgrading yourself, some people will disappear. Let them. Cheap company feels comfortable because it requires no growth. Expensive growth requires discomfort. It requires leaving behind people who benefited from your low standards. Understand this clearly. People treat you based on what you allow. If you allow interruptions, they will interrupt you. If you allow insults, they will insult you. If you allow last-minute cancellations without consequences, they will never prioritize you. Set the tone once. Enforce it calmly. Never beg for basic respect. An expensive mindset also means you are not easily impressed. You are not dazzled by surface-level charm. You look at consistency. You observe actions. You measure effort. Words mean nothing without alignment. Stop trying to convince people of your value. The right people will recognize it. The wrong people will challenge it. You don't argue with the wrong audience. You upgrade your circle. When you walk into a room, your posture, your silence, your calmness should communicate confidence. Not loudness, not desperation. Calm authority. Cheap people need constant reassurance. Expensive people reassure themselves. Cheap people fear rejection. Expensive people filter. Rejection is not a loss. It is a filter removing those who cannot afford your standards. If you want to be expensive, build something valuable inside yourself. Knowledge, discipline, physical strength, financial awareness, emotional stability. These cannot be faked for long. Substance always reveals itself. When you invest years into becoming better, you stop tolerating shortcuts. You stop settling. You stop chasing what doesn't align with your mission. Being expensive means you are selective with who gets access to your vulnerability. Not everyone deserves your story. Not everyone deserves your trust. Access should be earned, not given freely. Learn to say no without guilt. No is a complete sentence. The more you say no to what drains you, the more space you create for what elevates you. You are not required to attend every argument you're invited to. You are not required to answer every critic. You are not required to save everyone. Sometimes being expensive means being misunderstood. That's fine. Clarity to yourself matters more than clarity to the crowd. If someone says you've changed, smile. Growth looks like betrayal to those who benefited from your old version. Protect your focus. Attention is currency in the modern world. Spend it wisely. Every distraction you entertain is a tax on your future. When you stop being cheap with your standards, your time, your energy, and your emotions, your entire life shifts. Opportunities change. Circles change. Self-perception changes. You don't become expensive overnight. You build it daily. Through discipline when you don't feel like it. Through silence when you want to argue. Through walking away when you want to chase. And the most powerful transformation happens internally. You start valuing yourself without external proof. You stop performing for validation. You start operating from conviction. At the end of the day, being expensive is not about ego. It is about self-respect. It is about refusing to participate in dynamics that diminish you. It is about understanding that your presence, your time, your mind, and your energy are assets. Stop giving them away for free. Raise your standards so high that only those who respect you can stand beside you. Become so disciplined that distractions feel expensive. Become so focused that nonsense feels exhausting. Become so grounded that manipulation feels obvious. Stop being cheap with your life. Be so valuable, so composed, so rare, that access to you feels earned. That is what it truly means to be expensive. Most people reduce their own value without realizing it. They negotiate against themselves before anyone else even makes an offer. They assume they are lucky just to be included. They shrink their voice in rooms where they should be leading, and then they wonder why no one takes them seriously. Being expensive begins in the mind. If you secretly believe you are replaceable, you will behave in a replaceable way. You will overcompensate. You will try too hard. You will accept less. And people can feel that energy immediately. The philosophy behind this idea connects deeply with the cold realism of Niccolò Machiavelli. He understood that the world does not operate on kindness alone, though. It operates on perception, leverage, and strength. If you appear weak, you invite pressure. If you appear desperate, you invite exploitation. If you appear scarce and control, you invite respect. To stop being cheap, you must first detach from the fear of losing people. Fear is what makes you negotiate your own standards, and fear is what makes you tolerate disrespect. Fear is what makes you chase those who clearly show disinterest. When you remove fear, your behavior changes. You speak slower. You think before responding. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation. You understand that not every battle deserves your sword. Cheap behavior is emotional. Expensive behavior is strategic. When someone criticizes you, cheap energy reacts instantly. It defends, explains, argues. Expensive energy pauses. It evaluates. Is this criticism useful? If yes, improve. If not, ignore. No wasted emotion. When someone pulls away, cheap energy chases harder. It sends long messages. It demands answers. Expensive energy mirrors distance. It lets silence reveal truth. It allows people to show their priorities without interference. Your emotional reactions are often the biggest discount you offer. Control over your emotions is one of the highest forms of value. Anyone can be loud. Anyone can be angry. Anyone can be dramatic. Very few can stay composed when tested. Composure creates intimidation. Calmness creates authority. If you want to become expensive, build a life that does not revolve around others' validation. Have goals. Have routines. Have standards that exist independently of who approves of them. Wake up with purpose. Train your body even when no one is watching. Study when others are distracted. Build skills quietly. When your life has direction, you stop clinging to people for meaning. Cheap people depend on others for identity. Expensive people create their own. Another powerful shift is learning the art of strategic absence. When you are always present, your presence loses weight. When you are always available, your availability becomes expected. But when you are selective, when you sometimes step back, when you focus on your own growth instead of constant social interaction, people begin to value your time. Absence creates reflection. Reflection creates appreciation. Right. Do not confuse this with playing games. It is not about manipulation. It is about boundaries. It is about not overextending yourself to prove loyalty. Loyalty without respect is slavery. If someone repeatedly disrespects you and you remain, you teach them that there are no consequences. And without consequences, behavior never changes. Being expensive means enforcing consequences calmly, not through shouting, not through revenge, but through distance, through reduced access, through emotional withdrawal. Access to you should be a privilege, not a right. The world respects those who respect themselves first. If you laugh at jokes that degrade you, others will continue making them. If you stay silent when insulted, others will escalate. The first moment you calmly say, "That's not acceptable," you change the dynamic. It might feel uncomfortable at first. Growth always does. Cheap comfort keeps you in small spaces. Expensive discomfort expands you. Another area where people become cheap is in oversharing. Not everyone deserves to know your struggles, your plans, your weaknesses. Information is power. The more people know about your vulnerabilities, the easier it becomes to use them against you. Speak less. Observe more. When you talk less, your words carry weight. When you are selective in what you reveal, people listen carefully when you do speak. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. To be expensive, your habits must reflect discipline. Wake up when you say you will. Keep promises to yourself. Show up on time. Finish what you start. Discipline builds internal respect. And when you respect yourself, your energy shifts. People can sense when someone has self-discipline. There is a sharpness to them, a seriousness, a stability. Financial discipline is another layer. Even if you are not wealthy, manage what you have wisely. Save, invest, avoid impulsive spending. Money is not just currency, it is freedom. The more financial control you have, the less you tolerate disrespect in work or relationships. Dependency makes you cheap. Independence makes you expensive. Emotionally, financially, mentally, reduce dependency. This does not mean you isolate yourself. It means you choose interdependence, not neediness. If someone threatens to leave and that threat controls your behavior, you have already surrendered power. But when you know you can stand alone, threats lose impact. Standards are everything. If your standards are low, your experiences will be low. If your standards are high, your circle will shrink, but your quality of life will improve. Do not fear the shrinking. Fear staying average. Cheap thinking says, oh, what if I lose them? Expensive thinking says, what if they lose access to me? This shift changes everything. Start auditing your life. Who drains your energy? Who respects your time? Who reciprocates effort? Who only appears when they need something? Adjust access accordingly. You are not obligated to maintain connections that cost your peace. Peace is expensive. Protect it. The strongest people are not the loudest. They are the most centered, the ones who can walk into chaos without becoming chaotic, the ones who can hear insults without losing composure, the ones who can lose opportunities without losing confidence. Loss does not scare expensive people. They believe in their ability to create again. When you truly internalize your value, you stop negotiating for crumbs. You stop accepting almost. You stop tolerating inconsistency. You either receive effort or you withdraw yours. Match energy. Do not exceed it unnecessarily. The final transformation is internal. You stop trying to be chosen. You start choosing. You stop trying to impress. You start observing. You stop fearing rejection. You start filtering alignment. And when you reach that point, your aura changes. Your walk changes. Your voice changes. Your voice changes. Your boundaries become clear without aggression. You become calm but unshakable. Unavailable for disrespect, unavailable for manipulation, unavailable for mediocrity. That is what it truly means to stop being cheap. It is not about ego. It is not about pride. It is about understanding that your time is limited, your energy is finite, and your life is too valuable to be discounted. Raise your price through discipline. Raise your value through growth. Raise your standards through courage. And never again lower yourself just to fit into spaces that cannot afford who you are becoming. There comes a point in life where you must decide whether you want to be liked or respected. Most people choose liked. They smile when they are irritated. They agree when they disagree. Well, they tolerate when they should confront. And slowly, piece by piece, they trade authenticity for approval. Approval is cheap. It costs you your identity. When you truly understand the deeper strategic mindset inspired by thinkers like Niccolò Machiavelli, you realize something uncomfortable. The world does not reward softness without strength. It rewards clarity. It rewards self-control. Oh, it rewards those who understand power dynamics and refuse to stand at the bottom of them. Stop being cheap means stop overvaluing others while undervaluing yourself. You notice it in small behaviors. You cancel your plans instantly when someone else calls. You adjust your schedule to accommodate people who would never do the same for you. You forgive repeated disrespect because you don't want conflict. You give unlimited chances to people who treat you as an option. Every time you do this, you lower your own price. Being expensive is not about becoming cold-hearted. It is about becoming clear-headed. It is about understanding that kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. You must learn to disappoint people. Yes, disappoint them. Say no when it does not align. Refuse when it disrespects your time. Decline when it drains your focus. The moment you stop fearing disappointment, you gain control over your life. Cheap people overcommit. Expensive people prioritize. Cheap people talk about what they will do. Expensive people quietly execute. Cheap people want recognition before results. Expensive people let results speak. There is something powerful about silence combined with progress. When you stop announcing your goals and instead build them quietly, your confidence grows internally. You don't need applause because your self-trust becomes stronger than external praise. Self-trust is expensive.